Hello, welcome to yet another video. Today we're going to be talking about a game made by the company Big Robot. I've recently gotten into this game because I have to work on it, because I work for this company called Den of Thieves. Basically, what it comes down to is I work for Den of Thieves Games as an intern at the moment, and they have me working on one of their projects that they're currently patching and making a reinvented edition for. More about that later. Let's just start the review for now. So what game am I talking about? We're talking about the game Sir, You Are Being Hunted. Or Sir if you don't have much time. So what is Sir, You're Being Hunted? Sir, You're Being Hunted is a game where it's practically a survival stealth game. And I don't care what anyone else says, honestly, because if you play this game, you play it as a survival stealth, because the game, all you do is you try to not die. You have fatality, which is like, how long until you fucking die from starvation. And you have health, so that's two things. That's survival, it's survival. The stealth part comes that you have to sneak around, or because if you get spotted, you get fucking murdered. So, sorry, but it's a survival stealth game. See, even Google agrees with me. They even call it a stealth game. A survival horror stealth game. Sorry, I forgot the horror. So if you're watching this and you think, okay, sounds interesting. What if I want to, experience that game? What's the horror aspect? Well, I kind of already described the stealth and survival, didn't I? Yeah. This is how you know that these videos follow guidelines more than a script. So the goal for the game is to collect some pieces of some sort of machine that is supposed to summon you back to your real life. I played the game a couple of times. I must say I keep skipping the story because I like the gameplay more than the story for this one. From what I know is you have to collect pieces of a device that will teleport you back or something, or it will kill the robots, I don't know. Disclaimer, the plot is described terribly. I have no fucking clue what I'm talking about, apparently, okay? Even though I work on it. The real game is putting the enemies on max and then trying to not die. My record is 30 seconds before getting fucking murdered or seeing a landowner and deciding to shit myself. If you don't know what a landowner is, here's a picture. I'm very sorry. I should also have some footage, which is gonna be right now. There you go. Do you regret your life decisions? Because I fucking do. So why do I like this game? Well, if you saw my Dishonored video, you know how much I like stealth in video games. I absolutely adore it. Stealth is a very interesting concept, and I think that more games should work with stealth. Persona 5, for example, the stealth in that game is one button. No. That's not stealth. In Persona 5, if you go into stealth mode, which is like hide, you can't get spotted. Even if they walk past you, you're just not stealthed, you're invisible. I don't like that. I mean, I do in Persona 5 because I just love the game, but I don't like that in general. The stealth in Skyrim, as many people know, is kind of shit. But it is a type of stealth that if you don't level your skills into stealth, it's kind of fair. And there's a lot of mods that make it even more fair. You are stealth when you're crouched, which is interesting because that's kind of how it works. You're trying to not be seen. And if an enemy sees you, and if they have the chance to see you, they will aggro on you, or well, they will first investigate and then they will aggro. Dishonored 1 and 2 do the exact same thing. And if you're hearing me say Dishonored 2, it's because I'm still playing through the game because it's fucking hard to get through. I'm very sorry. I was planning that review before this one, but it didn't happen. Anyway, yeah, no, stealth like that is fucking great. And guess what? Sir, You're Being Hunted has the same type of stealth that Dishonored and Skyrim have, only you have no skills, so it's actually balanced. The stealth in Sir, You're Being Hunted has a little indicator on the bottom left where you can see how visible you are. And sometimes when it says you're invisible, if an enemy gets too close, they will still see you, because that's how real life works. You're not fully invincible or invisible. People can see you when they're standing next to you, weirdly enough. Anyway, that's why I love the stealth in Sir. The more progress you make, the more enemies will spawn over time. Unless if you do what I do and set them all on max from the start until the end. At that point, no more enemies will spawn because it's already on max. But if you play like a sane person and have it on the normal spawn parameters, then more enemies will spawn based on how much progress you've made with the stones that you have to collect, or with how much time has passed. Yes, progression is not the only way to be more difficult. If you suck ass, you're fucked, because the game will get harder, which means you will suck more ass. At least hope it's a good ass. That's all I'm gonna say. Yeah, and if you're like me and you turn everything to the max, this all doesn't fucking matter, because the game's already way too difficult and it won't get any easier. I highly recommend against doing it. As much as I said, as much as I jokingly said, do that, it's funny. It's funny, but it also can kind of ruin your experience, because if you learn to play against the maximum level of enemies at every stage, so you're playing with the most amount of enemies possible at all times, are you really having fun when you have to go back, or when you inevitably eventually go back to the stages where they're normal? Because you won't have fun, because you already know how to dodge everything, because you've literally done it on the highest difficulty. But that's up to you. If you want a fucking challenge, do that. I think it's low-key impossible, or at least for me, because I get scared shitless. I'm also a little bitch, but you know. And yeah, so don't waste your fucking time if you are playing in the official normal difficulty settings. Even if you don't do that, you can change the difficulty settings all you want. Maybe you do want everything to spawn from the start, but just on level 1, and maybe you can change the progression the way you like it. That's another thing I really love. It's very customizable. Well, not really customizable. You can choose what kind of islands you have, except for the center island, but that's beside the point. You can choose what kind of islands you have. You can choose what kind of enemies you're facing. You can even turn off enemies. You can even make it so that enemies only spawn at a certain time. You can even set the amount of enemies that are allowed to spawn at what time, or slash what progress you've made. So the game gets harder based on those settings, and if you want it to be easier, you can even make it like that everything is difficult from the start, but as time progresses it gets easier. I call that the speedrun route, where at that point you've wasted so much time you can't get the world record, so you might as well make it easier on yourself. But I really want to see a Sir You're Being Hunted max difficulty speedrun. That sounds so stupid. It's just thinking about that. That's just dumb. Do it, please. Make it happen. Anyway, let's continue on with the review. As a developer, I have to say how fucking impressed I am with some of the content that's there. Having looked at the code base, there are definitely... The code's... You can improve it. And that's what I'm doing, basically. We're making the game better. It's a great game. It's a fantastic game, honestly. If you like stealth games, get it. If you like survival horror stealth, well, fucking ring that bell, because this is your game. This is made for you. And I think Big Robot knew this when they were making the game. I haven't actually talked to them. I'm just making an assumption. So yeah, the biggest thing I as a developer am proud of to see, though, is the world generation. I fucked around with it a bit myself during my studies. Anyway, yeah, no, like, the world generation is amazing. It's random world generation, from what I know. It works with... Actually, I don't know what it uses. I thought it was using Perkin Noise, but I might be wrong. I don't actually know for sure. Because it just works. I haven't had to look at it, because it works pretty fucking good. Sure, it has a couple of issues. Any code written by a human usually has issues at some point, and sometimes certain small companies don't have the resources and the time to get rid of every small issue, which Sir is definitely guilty of. There are a couple of code things that I've seen that are just not the greatest. The game is incredibly amazing. It's fun, which is the most important part, I'd say. Well, the world generation is impressive, and the gameplay is actually pretty good. I know, fucking 10 out of 10 gameplay right now. The gameplay is pretty good, 10 out of 10. Buy it right now from Steam. Actually do that, because it's a pretty good game. But let's be fucking serious. If you like a game with good gameplay, where you can shoot and murder robots that are trying to shoot and murder you, which is actually quite funny, because the game is made by a British company. How do you know this? Because it's filled with British humor. The intro scene is in full, beautiful British accent. It has so much British humor. The game is amazing. You have amazing gameplay. You have incredible world generation. It's so fun. well, the survival horror aspect, very fun as well. The stealth is amazing. I love the stealth. I can't shut up about the stealth, honestly. The stealth is the biggest thing that makes me horny for this game. Yeah. If you already liked the game, and you were like, I wonder, are they gonna talk about the multiplayer? You're damn fucking straight I am. Sir has a multiplayer like no other. The multiplayer is basically a battle royale. It kind of is. You all have to collect pieces, and whoever collects the most pieces out of all the spawn pieces and brings them to the middle, which is only available sometimes, it's not constantly available at this point. If you kill another player, you can take their pieces, but there's also still robots. It's actually pretty fucking fun. I played it at work for a little while we were testing, and the new multiplayer system works incredible. You can actually find servers again. It's great. I think you just heard my phone. Ignore that. It's really fun. I honestly had a blast when I was playing it at work, and I think anyone who loves the game is gonna have a blast as well. But I do want to wrap this video up, so let's give it a couple final words. I love the gameplay. I'm super happy I get the chance to work on this game. It's incredibly fun. I highly recommend playing the multiplayer with some friends and seeing who's the best sir or madam of the group. Honestly, it's so fun. I should mention, by the way, the game is called Sir, You're Being Hunted, but there's a button that you can change it to madam, and you will actually be called madam in the game. It's incredibly fun how they, in 2013, decided to implement this when they really didn't have to, but I'm happy they did. The game's multiplayer is incredible fun, like I said before, and I truly recommend making sure that you turn the landowner on and don't tell your friends, and just sitting back to enjoy some chaos. And with that, I'm gonna say thank you very much for watching. I hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, leave a like. If you didn't, fuck off. If you didn't enjoy the video, why are you still here? Honestly. Now, if you did enjoy the video, please leave a like, subscribe, and I will have more reviews coming up soon. I recommend you watch my Dishonored 1 video. If you expect my Dishonored 2 video to be just as positive, I can't promise it unless the game gets really good from the point where I'm at right now. Thank you very much. Hope you enjoyed it, and have a wonderful day.